Yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. $120 for this damn truck. So, as you probably know, I get my gas weekly from either BJ's or Costco. So here I am. I'm pulling up to BJ's last night, and there's always a line now. And the reason why there's always a long line is because people understand at this point that BJ's and Costco are probably the cheapest place they can possibly get gas. Now, personally, I don't know if Sam's Club sells gas, which they probably do. And I don't know if Sam's Club saves you money on gas, but chances are, if they do, then they're just like BJ's and Costco. Those are the cheapest gas stations around. Here, New York City, you're not going to any gas station and seeing any price lower than $3.99 for premium 93. As you know, I drive cars that have V8 engines. I'm planning to get an electric vehicle. Thus far, the best electric vehicle that I've driven was the Kia EV6, which is odd because you'd think that I would say that the Mercedes EQS was. However, the Mercedes EQS is way too expensive for what they're giving you. Even though it's nice, it's just way too expensive for what they're giving you. I think the Mercedes EQE is going to be a little bit fairer in price. I think the Mercedes EQA, which is going to be like a little Mercedes ML, might be also more fair in price, but the EQS, which was supposed to be an electric S-Class, way too expensive, and also doesn't have the road presence. A lot of people think it's ugly, so it doesn't have the road presence of an S-Class. It just doesn't have it. I'm used to driving an S-Class Mercedes, and the EQS just doesn't have the road presence, and it's not big enough inside. But I digress. So anyway, I pull up to BJ's last night. They said $4.07. But when I actually put my credit card in, it says $3.99. So I paid $3.99. Every single week, I'm driving a little over 255 miles in total from full to empty because I've been filling up my gas tank just so I don't have to come back and wait on that goddamn line. I tried to tell everybody. I had no idea COVID was coming like this. I had no idea the Russians were going to invade Ukraine. But I tried to tell everybody, put your money in these oil stocks. Some people did, some people didn't. The people who did are licking up the dividends and the gains right now. Okay, so today is March 5th, Saturday morning. I'm basically just going to do a quick rundown of most of the stocks that I track on my iPhone, which are part of my Charles Schwab account. So first of all, the Dow Jones Index is obviously down to 33,614 points. So obviously, this is because most of the sectors have experienced pullbacks. And those pullbacks are obviously due to the Russian invasion and pending takeover of most of the Ukraine. Now, instead of making this video about the whys and the politics regarding that, yeah, somebody just put Command and Conquer Red Alert 3. Yeah, that's basically what this is. It's a damn shame that they're not still making Command and Conquer games because, if more people understood chess and they understood games like Command and Conquer, it's like it would be so easy to understand what's going on now. But most of these people are dumb. It's just sad. It's just sad. But anyway, Bitcoin and the other cryptocurrencies. They kept telling you, oh, yeah, this shit's going to 100,000. It's going to be 200,000. It's going to be $1 million. They've been telling us this bullshit. Every time I hear somebody say it, I post it. And just to remind you that they were wrong. But I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some strict sanctions coming down the pipeline simply because America has noticed that Russia is moving towards cryptocurrency where their own sanctions against Russia have not been completely working. They've been easily able to screw with the oligarchs, take their property, make it so that they don't have access to their assets. But when you move into cryptocurrency, it makes it harder for people to track your assets and whatnot. So you can bet that the government's going to crack down even more on cryptocurrency. So anybody who does decide to put some of their money in there, they're going to end up in some type of rug pull. The pullback of Bitcoin is obvious. It's like, it's so bad for Bitcoin buyers who bought in after, 45,000. It's so bad for them that they can't even be optimistic anymore right now. Now, they always like, oh, yeah, well, historically, Bitcoin has fallen and then it's risen back up. You know, it's funny. I had that same argument with someone in my family, and I was like, well, first of all, there isn't enough time for you to have a historical data comparison. It's like Bitcoin's only how less than 20 years. This is not like analyzing the stock market where you could say, oh, yeah, well, if you go back to 1940, it's like you could say this about the stock market. Or if you look at World War I, World War II, Bitcoin doesn't have enough time in order for you to analyze its history. And I think that that's the major logical fallacy for all of these people who keep saying, oh, yeah, well, they said that they showed this chart and they said that it should be this right now. It's not. It's not. And not only that, if you don't factor in the government manipulation from multiple different governments, where are you coming up with these numbers? So I'm not going to talk about crypto right now because kicking it while it's down may be fun. But there's no point in talking about it right now because I can already see, and you can already see, that everything that I warned you about was right. Now, let's just understand. Some people are always going to say, oh, yeah, well, it did go up. It did go up. The thing that always scared me was that people would feel safe with this shit and that they would put more and more and more of their money into it. It's like, the best way I could say is like, if I saw that there was a bank and I didn't trust that bank, and I thought that that bank might burn down or something might go wrong and that bank might lose all your money. Yeah, it looks like a safe place to put your money, but if I know that later on something's going to happen to it, then of course I'm going to say, no, don't put your money in that fucking bank. But whatever, you guys know more than me. That's why you're losing your fucking money right now, because you guys know so much more. But anyway, Coinbase, 165, way down. Robinhood, way down. As you can see, anything related with cryptocurrency. You remember how they told us, oh yeah, well, if we make these Bitcoin ETFs, we're going to all be rich and we're going to the moon. We're going to Pluto! Nah, it didn't happen. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. Warren Buffett has made me some money with Berkshire Hathaway. He's obviously heavily invested in Apple. Since the Apple split, we've been up for the most part. But yes, it is down a couple of ticks. But I'm not worried. I mean, Apple's damn near a $3 trillion company, and they're only growing. They grow year over year. I'm not worried about any of that. NVIDIA has so many partnerships. They grow year over year. I try to tell people, get your money into these splits. Get your money into these splits. I try to tell them, I said, listen, Google's doing a split 20-1. I've got 5 shares of Google. I'm thinking about buying one more share of Google because these prices have been in the red for so long. So I got 5 shares right now. That's going to turn into 100 shares when the stock split happens in July. I'm thinking about possibly buying 2 more shares, at least 1 more share. Google has shown year over year growth. Google operates all over the world, cell phones, Google Pixels, cloud services, blah, 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 blah. I'm not worried about putting money into Google. I'm just not worried about it. So Google, Amazon, I told everybody, listen, you should have at least 1 share of Amazon. Why? Because it's very possible Amazon might end up doing their own stock split within the next year or 2. You don't have to listen to me. You can listen to these cryptocurrency gurus who fucked up all your money. So it's up to you. I'm not worried about it. Tesla is down into the 800s. Tesla's facing a lot of competition. However, I'm not worried about Tesla. I'm pretty sure Tesla's going to be okay because in the long run, they survive on the fact that they make Teslas and people are badge whores who want Teslas. Not only that, they have subscribers who subscribe to their services. They also have a charging network that says Tesla on it. So I'm not worried about Tesla. They're going to be around for the foreseeable future. Facebook. Let me tell you something. I hate that motherfucker Zuckerberg. Watching him lose over $40 billion within the last couple of months, especially thanks to Apple making it so that he has no control over the privacy features on your phone and making it so that location-based services default to off. Let me tell you something. If Zuckerberg's hearing this, yeah, you very well could find my account on Facebook. You could deactivate it. You could hit me with another ban, another 30-day ban. But I've already had like 12 30-day bans, so I don't give a fuck. watching you lose all of that money, it just warms my heart. So, next, Roku. Technology being put in just about every single television. In fact, I should also mention Roku and NVIDIA, because NVIDIA has this GeForce Now technology, and they are focused on making it so that TVs can operate like video game systems. And in the near future, especially as 5G technology takes off, NVIDIA is going to be big. Roku is also pretty big because of the fact that they make the majority of these inexpensive smart TVs user interfaces. Roku is definitely worth owning, especially when it's on fire sale right now. Intel has been also making waves. Intel's doing a lot better. That's definitely a dividend-paying stock worth owning. AMD, I told y'all to get into AMD at $50. AMD rose to $150, no, $165. I think the high was $164. But I told y'all to get into AMD when it was like $48. You know, since I don't delete pretty much any of my videos, you can go back and you can look. But my Market Watch playlist, like, you know, it's just there. Like, YouTube doesn't hype it. I'm not paying YouTube for any ads. I'm not a crypto guru, so they don't, you know, give me any help in the algorithm. The only way I get help is by getting likes and shares and stuff, and I don't even think that really helps. But I just do this because it's fun. I give out this stock information. A lot of people can tell me that they've made money off my advice, and, you know, that's just the reason why I do this, because otherwise YouTube's not helping me. They want to give you, as soon as Michael Saylor talks his bullshit, that's when they hype somebody. As soon as somebody mentions these cryptos and this fucking garbage that you're pouring your fucking money into a Ponzi scheme, that's when they want to help out. But nah, it's like, whatever. At this point, I don't even care. I just do it because it's fun. So anyway, Goodyear Tires. Goodyear Tires is down also. It'll be back up. That's a nice buying opportunity. Let's see. I was going to really quickly, one of my friends called me and was talking about, what's it called? Airlines. Now, the last time I made a video about airlines specifically was right as the pandemic started. And the pandemic starting caused all the airlines to drop severely in value. That's when I put my money in. And Boeing, for example, is basically part of the military-industrial complex. Boeing ain't going nowhere. They can't even go bankrupt because the government will bail them out. You got to remember, Boeing makes a lot of our military technology, our helicopters and radar systems, blah, blah, blah. Raytheon and Lockheed Martin are also really good buys. Now, Lockheed Martin has shot up because of this Russia-Ukraine situation. So right now is not a good buying opportunity because it's already too high. Boeing, however, is below $200 a share. So if you're the type of person who's got that kind of money to gamble with, Boeing over the next 10, 20 years, that's some good money right there. I should also say, most of these other airlines are way down. Part of the reason for that is because of Russia, Ukraine. These people ain't flying to Europe right now. How they gonna fly to Europe and Russia's over there like surrounding the Ukrainian army and they flattening that place? They ain't going over there right now. Nobody wants to go to Europe right now. This is a buying opportunity. But let me have a caveat in that. Let me just say this. If you buy into the airlines right now, don't expect to make serious profits until 5 years from now. Now, I know there's some people be like, hey, yeah, well, I want that fast money now. I want fast money now. And they're like, oh, you know, I can't. I'm going to put my money in Dogecoin. Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, you go right ahead and do that, stupid. So anyway, you put your money in these airlines. Again, these airlines, they ain't going nowhere no time soon. They're operating on very low budgets. They're flying fewer planes. They're doing whatever it takes to get by day to day. The government forces them to operate. The government won't even allow them to stop operating because they need to keep flights back and forth to different parts of the country. These are services that, for the most part, get bailouts if necessary. The government will run the fucking national deficit up indefinitely, you know, but the reality is the airlines ain't going nowhere. JetBlue is not at its $10 low that I told you to buy in. American Airlines is not at its $10 low that I told you to buy in. However, it's low enough. So if you want to put your money in that, that's up to you. You could do that. But these things are decent buying opportunities. They are fire sales. The only other thing I wanted to mention, the oil stocks. I'm an oil man. Oil stocks, some people keep asking, they're like, yo, is it too late to get into oil? Honestly, because of the fact that I bought in when it was like almost zero, it didn't ever hit 0. The barrels of oil hit zero. The stocks didn't really hit zero. But if you do try to buy in now, it's expensive. It's way more expensive than when I bought in. I've made tens of thousands of dollars off of oil alone. But that was only because I bought in when it hit negatives back in March 2020. So I would say oil is kind of high right now. I don't foresee oil passing like $150 or $200 a barrel. Now, the problem is because Russia is such a major supplier of fossil fuels in the world, natural gas, coal, and oil, there's always the possibility that this crisis could cause oil prices to exceed 150. And obviously we need that for gasoline. Also, it's important to remember that the airlines and cruise lines obviously require large amounts of oil. They account for over 45% of the oil market. So because travel isn't so big right now, I would have to say that oil has a lot more room to grow because you got to remember, it's fucking winter right now. This is March 5th. We're still in winter. As we approach summer, oil prices go up from winter to summer. Right now, it's goddamn $5 a gallon in some places. Right now, it's $4 a gallon in most places. I was at BJ's last night. $4.02 on the premium gas indicator. I paid $3.99 because I must have, been shopping at BJ's enough to have the card that with the account it gives you like 10 cents off or something like that, or up to 10 cents off. But anyway, I paid $3.99 a gallon last night. This Russian-Ukraine thing shows no signs of stopping. Since America is not headed by me, if I was president, we would have opened up negotiation with Venezuela. I would have lifted sanctions on Venezuela and stopped trying to fuck with those people. I would have said, listen, Venezuela, we're going to be friends now. You're not dealing with those old racist Democrats of the old times. You're not dealing with those people. You're dealing with me. We're going to be friends. I'm going to open up negotiation with you. I'm going to send my oil trucks and shit down there. We're going to pump your oil. We're going to send you people food. And we're going to send you, rations and medicine and all that shit. And we're going to pump every last fucking drop of oil from underneath your feet. And as president, I would make gas prices. This is my promise. I would make gas prices for premium unleaded. The shit would be $1.50. Why? Because I'd make friends with the oil suppliers. I'd make it so that premium unleaded was $1.50. That'd be my first official act as president. But what do you got as president? You got Joe Biden. Poor bastard is so old, demented. That poor guy has no idea where the guy is. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't even know where he is. That poor guy. They have to jack him up on chemicals just to keep that motherfucker able to stand up, deliver that State of the Union. That shit was boring. If I was delivering the State of the Union, I'd be like, American people, my first act as president, $1.50 for premium unleaded. Woo! Yeah, woo! Yeah. That's exactly what it'd be. Roaring fucking applause. But not these people. Not these people. And I'll say this, Trump tried. He tried, but he didn't realize he was up against these Democrat cheaters. I knew early on, listen, Trump, you're up against a bunch of Democrat cheaters and people who whine like little pussies. You're never going to be able to be president beyond one term because these people will cheat you out of it. You saw what they did to JFK. You saw what they did. They turned his head into a moonroof. I honestly thought they were going to try to kill Trump. Honestly, I really did. I really did. I wouldn't have been surprised. Because I don't know if you've noticed, some people in Congress are suggesting that they should try to assassinate Vladimir Putin. Like, that ever could happen. That's not going to happen. But let me tell you something. If I was president, a premium unleaded would be $1.50. You'd be able to heat your house. Your oil heat bill for your full tank of 250-gallon tank of oil would be $275. And then I'd get the roaring applause from Congress. Woo! Yeah! Woo! Yeah! Everybody stand up. I'd get the whole Congress roaring in applause. Now, the only people who'd be upset with me and hate me are these Green New Deal stupid people who don't understand how energy works. But, that's just what it is. I mean, you're never going to make everybody happy. You're always going to have enemies. I don't have a problem with enemies because the one thing I got to say about having enemies is those people are very, very reliable. Like, your enemies show up even when your friends don't. They're always hating. So I do appreciate the reliability of enemies. I do appreciate it. So basically, there we are. Those are the main things I wanted to look at. There are a lot of other buying opportunities. Roblox, for example. Roblox has lost 50%. But in time, those are a bunch of developers who seem to target children with these mindless video games and shit. So, I believe that definitely will be up. SiriusXM is still doing pretty good. They're up $1 from where I bought in, so I'm happy with them. Zoom is way down because people aren't working at home. The only other things I could think of that are decent buying opportunities, if you have the money, Affirm is a pay later after you buy now program. It's kind of like a credit card, except they make it so you can finance things like vacation stays and stuff. So, Affirm has their place amongst the banks, I'll say, or at least amongst the credit card companies. But Visa, MasterCard, and American Express, those are definitely strong buys. Now, Warren Buffett swears by American Express. I personally like Visa and MasterCard because I believe Visa's cheapest. It's easy to buy more shares. MasterCard and Visa both pay dividends, so does American Express. But Warren Buffett is heavily invested in American Express. My problem with American Express, a lot of the what are those people? A lot of the merchants don't like American Express because American Express is very expensive on fees. Not only that, some merchants don't like the fact that American Express will refuse to pay if the customer says that there's a problem with the product. So American Express is not accepted everywhere. Visa and MasterCard usually are. So I prefer to bet on Visa and MasterCard. I do own some American Express, but I prefer Visa and MasterCard. I think that's about it. I've already told you in my other portfolio for TD Ameritrade, if you wanted to invest in 5G technology, it's easier just to invest in Verizon, T-Mobile, and what's the other one? AT&T. And they all pay dividends, all three of them. So I guess that's about it, Nice morning, wake up. That's just basically it. You have to have a plan for your money. Over the next 10 years, assuming we don't go to nuclear war, which I doubt we will, you want to get as much out of your money as you can. You're not going to get it in these banks. You already know that. You want to get as much as you can out of your money, and that's just the bottom line. So my recommendation is you focus on dividend-paying stocks, not cryptocurrency. Because let me tell you something, when the Biden administration and the rest of these Democrats who are right now in power, who are about to get their asses handed to them in November and the next election cycle for president, they're going to pass some laws. And I don't know what they look like because they haven't put them out yet. But the Biden administration, once they see that these Russians are still moving their money around with crypto, you can bet they're going after that shit. They're not going to let you get away with that. They're going to go after it until they control every single ledger, like there's 17,000 cryptocurrencies, 50% are absolute trash. Bitcoin has 45% of the total amount of cryptocurrency volume. and the rest of them are Ponzi schemes. You know, you could bet the government's coming after that shit. So, you know what, listen, you want to keep gambling? Listen, you keep gambling, but I'm going to go after the dividend-paying companies. I'm going to go after the oil companies. I'm going to go after the airlines. I'm going to go after the cruise lines. I'm going to go after the automobile makers. I'm going to go after the electric vehicle makers. I'm going to go after the people who develop charging systems, battery technology. I told you about lithium mining, but no, you wanted to put your money in Squid Coin and you lost it all. Good for you. But all I can say is, you know, price is what you pay and value is what you get. If you want to buy garbage, then you're going to get it. If you want to put your money into something with the volatility is so goddamn high that you can't be sure what the price will be from one day to the next, go ahead. Here's my question. My final question, because I've diverted as much as I could. Where's Nayib Bukele? You remember the president of El Salvador who told him, yeah, putting the nation on the crap table was going to be cool. You notice they ain't talking about him lately, huh? You remember how he bought into Bitcoin with his nation's money at 50,000, 55,000? You remember that? Where's he now? Where the fuck is he now? Because it seems to me somebody should be saying, hey, Naive, listen, I know you've got our attention diverted by what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, but you put my nation on the crap table, and I'd like to know where my money is. So that's my final question, and it had nothing to do with anything else I've said. Where is Nayib Bukele?